everyone, welcome back to the District 3 podcast. This is episode 336. My name is Irvin. A lot of you are still listening to the podcast on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts, which I appreciate. We got to get to YouTube. We got to move some people over to YouTube because I figured out a best time to post. I'm going to, instead of posting at 8 a.m., which I've been doing, that's not a good time for YouTube. So I'm actually moving it to 2 p.m. So maybe more of you see it, the ones that are already subscribed. But I know just by looking at the numbers that the majority of you are still on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, which I completely understand. If you are someone that's like driving or at work and you can't look at your phone while you're listening to the podcast, and Apple Podcasts and Spotify is better for you, I completely understand. I'm just trying to grow the YouTube a little bit more. So if you're one of those people that you like to see video, please go to our YouTube, subscribe, and check out the full video podcast that we're doing there. I'm excited about today's episode. Joining us today, we have someone who we've been trying to make this podcast happen for a while.
A while now.
I feel like I say that a lot, but I feel like with you, we've just kind of been going a little bit back and forth. You've been one of our biggest supporters on the podcast. Mm-hmm. You've put us on the news before. You are a former multimedia journalist. Makyla, you are with us here. Makyla Oviedo-Rodriguez.
Yeah, yep.
Do you introduce yourself with your full name, or do you just go by Makyla?
Like when I'm just like meeting somebody, like
when you're telling someone your name.
Like I'm Makyla.
Just Makyla.
Just Makyla.
You know, like I'm Makyla Oviedo-Rodriguez.
And then you have to put in my middle name too.
What is that?
Marie.
Like, how do you spell that?
Like Marie, like Marie.
Okay.
But like if my family in Mexico is like referring to me, it's like half the time they'll say like Micaela, and then sometimes Maria.
And I'm being sarcastic. Of course, I don't introduce myself as
No,
Irvin
you
Camacho.
Don't do full name.
Irvin Camacho Trujillo.
Full name and title.
I don't. I don't have a middle name, so I'm just Irvin. Some people I've said on the podcast before, I've been probably from birth, besides what my parents called me, right? But like birth to college, I would go by Irvin. So I've been called Irvin my entire life. And then a few years back, I was like, no, I kind of want to force people to pronounce the name the way my mom, put it on me.
Yes.
And that's Irvin, based off of a soap opera in Mexico in the 90s.
Okay, yeah.
And they forgot to put a middle name. So I'm just Irvin.
You're not just Irvin. You are the Irvin.
The Irvin?
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. We were talking about your name before we began.
Yeah. It's Makyla, but actually, so you talk about like people not pronouncing your name right.
Mm-hmm.
My name, I've gotten Makyla one time, or I get Makyla all the time. One time I got Makyla, and then the worst pronunciation was Mackenzie. I said you looked at the first 3 letters.
They gave up.
Then you gave up after that. So for a long time, I actually went by Mac. I went by Mac from like...
That sounds pretty cool, though.
Thank you. I went by Mac from like junior high to like after college. It was only like in the last 2 years that I was like, no, I really like the name that my mom gave me. And I didn't like correcting people for a long time. And I was like, no, this is the name my mom gave me. I like it. It's pretty. I want to be called by my name. So, yeah. But I'm there with you on that one.
We have to, right? At least people can try.
At least. And I like when people try. That you can say it wrong all day long. You tried, I'm happy.
And are both your parents Latino?
Yep. So, my mom is Latina, but I always say she's blonde hair, blue eyes, fair skin, but it comes from our Latina side of the family. And then my mom's mom is Caucasian, so like that's where we get like our small amount of white in us. And then my dad is Latino as well, from Mexico. Have
you ever done like your 23andMe?
No, I haven't. I don't know if I want to spend money on it.
It's expensive. I have a brother-in-law who he loves like Ancestry.com, 23andMe, like he's obsessed with it and is constantly telling me about it. And then he finally convinced me to go ahead and get the 23andMe. And it's really cool because you get to see like all the different makeup of your ancestry. Yeah. And then sometimes like your cousins will pop up on there, and like you'll see like your first cousins and all these different things. And then you'll see people who are like your 4th or 5th cousin, like 5 times removed or something like that.
It sounds so cool, but it's so much money.
It's an investment.
I have a lot of cousins. I know that I'm Latina.
It's got to be during tax season, I think. You're just like, even during tax season, it's like $100. That's a lot. Like sometimes they'll do the specials where it's like $50. So maybe when it's $50, you get it.
Okay. Actually,
Yeah.
that 50 isn't too bad to,
Yeah.
learn all of that. Okay.
It isn't because like I look at mine and I think like 48% is native, so it's like Mexican and all of that, and then I have 27% from Portugal. So I feel good
Okay.
rooting for Cristiano Ronaldo at the World Cup.
Okay.
Yeah, like
I like it. I like
yeah,
it.
so I'm like, okay, it gives me more of a reason to root for Cristiano during the World Cup. So one of the things that I talked about at the beginning was that you were a former multimedia journalist,
Yep.
right? So you were with a news company here.
Yeah.
And how long were you doing that?
I did it for a year and a half.
Why does it seem like it was longer?
I don't know. I think I was just always like boots on the ground and very loud. And so I think that I don't know, my desire for being so involved probably is the reason it feels like I was there for so much longer. Like I really put my whole life into my work that I did there. So
Yeah, I think maybe because I've did like so many interviews
We've
with
done
you,
so much.
where it felt like 3 or 4 years, to be honest.
I was gonna say it's only been a year and
wow.
a few months since like we first connected on like talking about Aire was the first story that we ever did.
Okay.
And that was maybe January, February of 2025. And since then, I mean, you were like, you're my first call,
know,
like
you
every
hit me
other
up.
time.
Sometimes I don't answer and I apologize.
Hey, that's
I'm just really
okay.
busy.
You got a lot going on.
Yeah, but I try my best to
Yeah.
answer to you. I know that a lot of the times, one of the things I was telling you was that I'll get to know all these reporters, right? And then I'll see that post on this. I'm waiting for it on social media where they're like, it's my, like, it starts out differently, right? But they'll usually say, like, I'm closing my chapter here at 5 News, at KNWA, at 4029 News. I'm going to Minnesota or
Right,
like,
and they're, like,
some
out of the
random
States,
Florida
or
or some place like that. So whenever you put that, I was like, I'm guessing you're
outta
moving somewhere
here.
else. Like but you had something different in mind, right?
And yeah, no, it was actually instead of moving to a new station, going to another news industry, it was my goodbye to news altogether, which was hard. That was a hard decision to make, but I love the area. I love being here. There was just a lot of like things that kind of went into like mental health and that talking about that like work-life balance for me personally. That I was like, I think maybe news just wasn't for me. The broadcast industry wasn't for me. It's not what I didn't go to college for it. I didn't go to college for journalism. I mean, the passion that I had behind the work that I did was because of the passion I had for the community. But there's so much that's happened in the last year. And after a while, I was like, I can't do it anymore.
What do you think was the reason that you wanted to do it to begin with?
Transparently, I graduated college way back in 2022. I worked at Disney World for 2 years. That's another side lore,
But
side
you gotta
quest.
touch on that too.
Right.
It's in my notes.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll get there. But I had moved back to Northwest Arkansas in 2024, and honestly, I wasn't planning on staying here. But the Lord had other plans for me, and I was here, and I was applying for jobs. And I couldn't get a job in like marketing, which is in social media, which was what I was originally going into or trying to go into, and I could not get a job. Well, in college, I actually had 4 years of broadcasting experience because I worked on our news station covering sports.
Okay.
And so I had a whole demo reel and everything. And I was like, you know what? There's a news job. Let me just apply for one. There's no way I'm going to get it. There's no way. The first news job I applied for, after all of the rounds of interviews and my demo reel and these different, the whole process, I got the job. And for me, I was like, okay, one, it was my first big career job. And two, I was like, this is my foot in the door. I wanted to go into sports at the time. I was like, it's my foot in the door to go to sports. And so I even like in all the coverage that I did, I still was, like I covered the Golden Clash when it was happening here. I've covered things that happened for Ozark United. Like I really tried to, any sports story that I could grab, I would grab it. And that's originally what was my intentions going into it. And one of the things that I would say is the more that I was in the news industry, the more that I had a passion for kind of covering what was happening on a global level, on a national level. because so much of that was happening and impacting right here in Northwest Arkansas. And it's something that you turn on the TV, you turn on the news, and it's talking about somewhere else. But all of that impact was happening right here. It was impacting somebody. And the more that I connected with the community and the more that I got to know, I was like, there are so many stories that need to be told. And so my passion for being a news reporter happened because of the job that I was in. And so, like, for that, I wouldn't trade the world for that. It made me fall in love with Northwest Arkansas and the community. And even though, I stepped away from journalism, the passion and drive I have from the community, I stayed. I was planning on getting out of here. I was like, I was like, I'm gonna be a reporter, and once I do this and I finish my contract, I'm gonna move to like Denver, or I'm gonna be a reporter. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be a reporter, but I want to be here. And so, yeah, that passion came with the job and came with the people that I was surrounded by, helped instill that and encourage me in that. But yeah, like I said, I love people a lot, and I think there does become a point where you care about people so deeply and you can keep telling stories, but it feels like I feel like I'm just talking and I don't feel like I'm helping like after a while. And then you feel so defeated. And I'm like, I'm trying. And, in journalism, you do your best to make sure that you're in this like middle ground. You want all sides to be heard. And I was so thankful and blessed to have been able to do that and to give, as many voices as possible is heard. But after a while, you're just kind of like, I think that I can't be unbiased, but I don't want to do that disservice to the community. And so it's like, I think maybe I'm exhausted because I know what I believe and what I stand for, and I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And so that was a big propeller of just being like, I don't know if this is for me because I want to use my voice, but I want to use it in a different way.
That makes sense. And I felt like when I've interacted with you, I can tell when people care about what they're reporting about and when it actually when they're passionate about it. Right. And you can also tell when people are just wanting, to do a story, because I interact with those kind of reporters too. Right. So I always wonder just how people deal with the fact that they're being exposed to all this news. And it's hard with me with even Twitter.
Yeah.
Like when I get on Twitter and I see all that on there, it gets super overwhelming. I want to stay informed because I want to be able to, do good and to have conversations with people.
Yes.
But it's very overwhelming.
It is, and you're so involved in the community, and I was so involved in the community, and like I said, you want to stay informed, but there just becomes a point where it's like you think about it in reality, you're like, man, we were never supposed to know all of the information, contain and retain everything that we have, and we have it now, and I think that that becomes so overwhelming, and it impacts a lot of our mental health, and it's great to be informed. But I think there comes a point where it's like, I think that's all I'm consuming, and that's it. And it's a very heavy weight to carry after a while. And it's like, we have it at our fingertips. And so it's so easy to scroll through something, and then 2 hours have passed, and you have learned everything there is to know about what's happening here and across the world. And it's hard and it's heavy. And so once you're in it, it's very hard to get to pull back and be like, okay, how do I find that balance now that I've been knee deep in it? And that was something that I think near the end of my time, I had started to be able to develop. I started prioritizing kind of my mental health and taking. I see
you posting on TikTok about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had to take a step back, prioritize my mental health, and that was so fruitful and that was so good. But it did. I think of, oh my goodness, this is such a very specific odd reference, and I'm gonna be called Disney adult for it. But in the movie Frozen 2, have you seen Frozen 2?
I think so.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Frozen 1's more memorable for me, but
Frozen 2 is my favorite of the two, which is it's a hot take. I've been told that. But in the movie, there's a point where they're searching for the truth. They're trying to figure out what happened. Why does Elsa have her powers? All of this. And there's that sweet song that their mom sings to them that you hear in the first movie. It makes it come back, and it's more important in the second one. But the lyrics are, and what you see happen is they're talking about the truth and finding the truth. But the lyrics are but if you go too far down, you might drown. And what happens is like they go to a point, they find out the truth, but once they find out the truth, it's like it shatters them, and it's a game changer. And so it's like thankfully in that moment and in that movie, you see the support system. Like that's a huge thing. It's like even though they found the truth, they had each other, even though that was at their lowest. But there comes a point where like in our real world, like in the real world, it's so heavy where it's like if you don't have the support system, if you don't have the just the resources to be able to take care of your mental health, or just even the self-discipline, self-control to like take that step back and reprioritize for a minute, you're going to get so far. And so like, even though once I had finally taken that step back, I realized I was like, I think if I re-pour again, it's a slippery slope to get back to where my mental health is not good. There's got to be other ways. And so, so taking a step back, I left. To no one's surprise, everyone understood that my mental health was at a tough spot. But since I've left, it's been an outpour of love from the community. Like I talked to so many people, like I've talked to you and I've talked to other people that I've done stories with, and just people, showing support for me making this decision. And I'm so thankful that I still get to be here. And I'm so thankful that I'm not a news reporter, because I can use my voice in a way that I'm like, no, I agree with this, but also this is a lot. So I'm going to take a step back for a minute and I'm going to breathe and I can reorganize and I can get back out there.
And you don't got to wake up early anymore, right? That early? Or do you still?
Oh my goodness. Well, no. So I was on that morning shift for a really long time.
You were waking up at like 3:30, weren't you? Or
I was getting in there at like 3 a.m. That was not ideal.
I'm in my third dream at that time. I'm not getting
like
up.
The third REM
Maybe
cycle.
my doggy woke me up and I have to go out and like take him out to potty at that time. Well, but I'm going back to sleep.
What's so funny
right after
is I switched shifts, and I have a cat at home, and I switched shifts, and so then I was able to sleep in for a little longer. But he was so used to being on a feeding schedule of being fed at 2 a.m. So for the first like month after I was on a new shift, I still had to wake up at 2 a.m. to feed him. I had to slowly like put it back by increments. I was like, hey,
what time do you wake up now?
Well, I've gotten into running. It's a larger discipline of mine that I'm working on. So I actually get up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock to go for a run.
Still too early for me.
I know. I'm like, I could sleep in now, but
my alarm's at 8.
At 8?
Yeah, so I wake up at 8, and does that sound crazy to you? 8? that's a normal human being waking up time.
I'm so sorry.
And
my face spoke for me.
I know, like what the. So I wake up at 8, and I go to the gym first thing in the morning. Okay. So that's the first thing I do, and then for the rest of my day, I feel great. Yeah. Like, and I don't have to worry about. You know how if you don't work out, sometimes in the evening you're like, damn, I got to get that workout in, or I got to do something. No, it's already done by 9 a.m. So I'm good to do whatever I need to do for the rest of the day.
You got the energy too. You're like pumped. You're like,
I'm a morning person too. Yeah,
I am a morning person. I was a night owl when I was younger, and then I got older. I was like, I really like being up when the sun is coming up, or like I like being up right before the sun comes up. But yeah, I'll get up at like 6:30, 7. I'll do a quick run or whatever workout my Runner app has me do, and then I get ready for work. And I have a hybrid job, so sometimes I just crawl back in bed because I can work from home. And then 2 days out of the week, I have to go drive all the way to Rogers to go to my office. But, okay. Yeah.
Have you said you're into running. Have you joined a run club yet? I know those are popular right
now. Cosmic Run Club, which is like in Bentonville. I've done their like girl runs. They do a monthly Cosmic Babes run, and I've done 2 of them. Really excited. They were really fun. I'm really slow. So my goal right now is I want to do Cosmic Run's big run club. They do every Saturday morning. But I need to get like locked into shape and be comfortable in a zone 2 and like a conversational pace while I'm running. Because I can get like really bad severe anxiety, like social anxiety. And I'm like, if I go there and I can't talk and run and I'm too slow, like 100 thoughts like run through my brain. So I was like, okay, right now I'm training to be able to go to run club.
I feel that. There's some that will adjust to your pace. I've seen them.
Yep. I had like the last one that I went to, they had a slower pace group, and it was me and this girl named Gabby. It was also her first run. Well, she's from Colombia, and she's so sweet. She goes to NWAC. Like, she was amazing. And her and I ran together, and I was like, I thought I was dying, and she was the most encouraging. Like, we had just met. and she ran with me the whole 3.1 miles, and she was so encouraging, and I learned so much about her. And I left run club, and I told my friends, I was like, we all need a run club, Gabby. Like, everybody needs this kind of person in their life. Like, yeah, she could have been way ahead of me with this other run group. But like, she stayed by me the entire time. And even when I was like I'm exhausted, like I'm pooped, and she was like, it's okay, we're right there. Go to the sign, we're almost there. I was like, I love this. Like, we're gonna be best friends.
Oh, that's cool. Like I think in those run club atmospheres, there's always people like that that are, you know, because maybe there was a time where they needed it. They needed the motivation themselves.
Yes.
You know, so I want to join one, but I'm also in the same like sphere where you're at. I'm kind of like, I want to get to a point first before I'm comfortable.
I want to start a run club. This is my dream that I have. I have a new dream once a month, but my current dream is I want to start a run club. Pretty much though, that's like we go around Northwest Arkansas, because I feel like they're all like, okay, this one's in Bentonville, this one's in Springdale, this one's in Fayetteville, but one that like, okay, let's do a regional, like we'll mix it up, but then like have people that are like leaders of the run club to be like at each pace. So that way you never have, because I've shown up to a run club before where like they're like, oh, we're gonna have 2 pace groups, and they didn't have somebody for the slower pace.
They were gone.
I was like, well, I don't know where I'm going.
Wait, what pace is that when you're going a little bit?
Hold on, where's
too
the
fast?
slower one? I can't lead the slower one. I've never been here before. But so like having somebody like, okay, our goal, our mission is genuinely, when it says all paces welcome, that nobody's gonna walk in or come run or come walk and feel excluded and not feel seen. Like, I want to be able to create that atmosphere. And so like this is my dream for the month. I'm like, okay, that's another reason. Like, I'm gonna get in shape so I can start a run club.
Okay, make it happen.
And then you can join.
Yeah, if I'm already at that pace, then yes, I will.
You're gonna lead one of the pace groups.
Okay, it probably will be the slowest one. Not because I'm slow. So let's get that straight. I ain't slow, but ever since I got my ACL surgery, I still am a little scared whenever because I jog here and there. And right now, most of my cardio is going to the gym and on the treadmill doing 12 incline at 2.5 speed around there. So that makes me sweat a lot, right? And I think I can run. I'm still a little scared. Like, I'm taking like little tippy toes to get to full running speed because of the ACL thing.
Hey, I would put money on it that you can probably run faster than me. I've been doing 5Ks for months now, and I'm not getting much faster, but I'm like...
What do you think that is? What?
First, lack of training. I really need... If you're not training between runs, you don't expect to run faster.
I don't get how that works. Like, do you have to train more to run faster?
Well, so it's like it's more about training like your heart and your lungs. And so, like I said, like for me, like I want to do a run club. I want to be able to get faster, but it's not like I can't run faster. It's like my lungs haven't been like strengthened to support me. So if I can't even, like, I can barely do a 14-minute mile and talk. That's pretty hard to join a run club and not be able to do that, kind of, because those are social hours. But
I put on a shirt that would say like, "Please don't talk to me right now." I'm barely making it. Talking adds another layer of difficulty to this place. That's also a good idea, right?
A not social run club?
It's just for introverts. Like, no one talks.
Is that not just like a 5K or a 10K?
Well, kind of, but it's
race
like
where
the rules are don't talk, but I don't want to be by myself either. I'm an introvert, but I don't want to be by myself. Can we just talk and like maybe put music? That's a good idea.
Oh, but that's still a race, isn't it?
I guess, but it's more of a...
But it's more like, it's chill. It's like not competitive. It's like, oh, I want to run. I need accountability, but like, please don't talk to me because I'm kind of... Okay.
Yeah.
I see it.
Well, hopefully no one takes our idea. And if someone does,
we're going to patent it.
Please give us credit. You mentioned Disney World, which I thought was really interesting. You were there for 2 years?
2 years. I did, 2 college programs. So I had a 4-month gap between them. But yeah, I was there pretty much 2 years in Florida.
And you went there did you go there from Chicago or did you come here first?
So I grew up in the south side of Chicago. I came to the state of Arkansas for college. I went to Harding University. Shout out, go Bisons. And then while I was living at Harding in Central Arkansas, my family moved to Northwest Arkansas. And then I graduated college. And then I was like, I have to go work at Disney. Like before I am a big girl and have a career job, I'm running away to Disney World and nobody can stop me. And I flew on pixie dust for like 2 years. But yeah, so right out of college, like I had the summer off and then I went straight to working in Orlando, Florida.
What'd your family say when you did that?
They were very supportive. They were. My mom was really excited for me because Disney is one of those, like I hate saying I'm a Disney adult because everyone's like, oh no. But like I am because I was raised a Disney kid. My family, if we went on one vacation, when we saved up enough money, that's the vacation we went on. And it was something that it didn't matter your age. Like we all enjoyed it and we all knew that we would enjoy it. And like, we can circle back to this.
What's wrong with being a Disney adult, by the way?
People think that it's like really cringy. And I think that we should embrace whimsy.
Like in real life or like just TikTok? Where are you seeing that?
Oh, okay. So while working at Disney, I can confirm that the ones that you see on TikTok are very real and very much at the Disney parks. And I have met them and they are kind of scary.
Like the influencers?
Yeah, like some of them. Or just people that like are really into Disney. Like I really am. I am. If you get me started on it, I won't stop. Like there's some people that that's their whole life. And hey, you gotta have a passion. You have to have a passion. And they are passionate about Disney.
Yeah, there's a pro wrestler that I follow. His name is Matt Cardona, who his thing is going to Disney. So he's like in Disney World over there in Florida like every week. And I'm like, is it that like when you're not, I won't say obsessed. When it's really your thing, can you really go every week and not get bored?
No. I can tell you I thought that I would get tired of Disney working at Disney. I was like, oh, I'm gonna learn how all the secrets are.
You gonna be like that one of those like characters who has like takes the hat off. I mean, takes the big head off and they're like smoking.
That's crazy. That doesn't happen.
I'm tired of this job, man.
That doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
That's never happened. Those are real, and there's only one mouse.
Okie dokie.
Okay, only one. These are things.
I hate that when I went. Like I went like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was kind of raining. Oh. And the animals just came out for a little bit, like for three or 4 minutes, and they went back in and they didn't come out anymore.
But like for like the actual animals, or like the characters.
The characters came down. I think it was like around. It might have been around like 7 or 8 p.m. around that time, because we got there like we literally got to Orlando. Yeah. We put our stuff in the Airbnb and went directly over there.
Okay.
And I was like, no, I already had made plans that this day I've never been to Disney World myself. Like we were poor when we were kids. Like we couldn't save at all, so we couldn't save to take any trips anywhere. All we did was to go to the beach, which is amazing, but it's free, right? So when we went, it was like 7 p.m. around that time. And it was raining, so it was still beautiful. We got to see like the lights and like fireworks and a lot of the stuff. I didn't really care about the rides that much. I just wanted to be there. So we saw the castle and everything, and but that experience must have been amazing for you.
It was. I enjoyed it. I always say, everyone's like, "What was it like working at Disney World?" And I was like, "It's." Working there is something. And I was like, it was something, but it was so something that I went back and I did it for another year. Working there, everyone has very different walks of life. And then you put everybody there together. And so that can be like a mixing pot of high emotions. And you're at a theme park. And the place that everyone expects to be perfect and magical. And so it's very easy to run into the people that are always upset, or to be, you work there and something didn't go right. A line took too long. The order wasn't made right. You don't have the thing in the store. And so it's very easy for like cast members to be the people that are like pointed fingers at or yelled at. Like one time I got yelled because there wasn't chicken tenders on the menu one time. But it's one of those, like, you have a backbone. It's a lot of fun. It is. It is what you make of it. And so, like, for me, even to this day, I always recommend, like, especially like college students, young adults, to go, like, first pick up and leave home, like, just for a little bit. Even if you decide that home is where you want to stay, like, if you have an opportunity to go experience somewhere else in the country, in the world, in the state, pick up and leave. You're going to learn a lot about yourself and about the world outside of home. But secondly, I always encourage, like, people to go work at Disney World. That is for as much as a bubble as it is, being like Disney culture, it is genuinely one of the most, I want to say, rewarding experiences. Like, I worked really crazy hours, and I had some really off the wall guests and cast members I had to work with, but I made really good friends. You're just a bunch of young adults for the most part. Like, I want to say like more than 50% of these parks and resorts and everything are run by young adults who just learned and got signed off on training like 3 weeks ago. And that's probably after like 2 p.m.
Oh, okay.
So if you're ever like in the hands of somebody operating the ride, just know they've probably only been doing that for 3 months.
Oh, man.
And in about 3 months, there's going to be somebody different doing it.
Oof.
But it's fun. And then you get into Disney for free.
I was going to ask you about that.
For free. There's discounts on merchandise and food, and resorts. Yeah, but it's not even like, and I never took advantage of this, but like I got into Disney World for free, but if I wanted to travel to any of the Disney parks around the globe, I could get into those for free.
Oh, nice.
I don't have the money to like travel to those. They don't pay you very well. But if I wanted to, I could have. So, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. And I did it for 2 years. I worked in food and beverage at ESPN Wide World of Sports Center and the water parks for my first program. And my second program, I was in merchandise at the resorts. I loved it.
Did you get to see any famous people when you were there?
Gosh, the most famous people that I saw were probably TikTokers.
Okay.
There was this I couldn't tell you what their names are, but there was a TikTok couple that was staying at our resort one time, and that was the talk of the town. We were like, they're here. They're here. We know them. We were under like a tropical storm warning.
Oh, shoot.
So they had to go through the gift shop. There's nothing else they could do. And we were like, they're in our gift shop.
Dang.
But we were so excited.
So why did you feel like after 2 years about dipping that job?
I think one of the traps that I've watched a lot of people fall into, not just at Disney World, but like taking jobs, is especially like after you get a degree, your first job out of college is like you stick with that first job. And so I watch so many people start working at Disney after getting a degree or while they've spent so much money to pursue the major that they're in, and they never go back to school or they never do anything with the degree. And so for me, and for some people, that brings them joy, and they're like, you know what, and this is it, and that's all. And I am happy for them. I think for me, I was like, you know, I had huge support from my family financially to get through college. And I'm like, they poured so much money into me. They poured so much encouragement and support into me. I got to do something more than this. Like, there is something so much more than Disney World, because for me, I'm like, I could stay here and I could be happy. But I wanted so badly, again, circling back, I didn't know what I was going to do, but I wanted so badly to add to my community. And whether that was staying in Orlando, Florida, which I considered for a minute, or, you know, moving, I didn't know where at the time, but I was like, I want to do something more than packing bags. And I didn't feel like, for me, I was doing the most to my potential working there.
I think it's cool that you had the opportunity to just be like, I want to do this, let me dip, kind of thing. You know, when you want to go to Florida, like, I feel like a lot of us, I know me, I had like a lot of responsibility at such a young age where I had to stay close to where my mom was. You know, I couldn't leave her by her side. But I always am happy for the people that were able to just kind of like live out a dream of theirs, right? No one takes that experience away from you.
No, and I have been beyond blessed. Like, I attribute all of that to my family. I attribute so much of it to my family and the support that they have shown me. Whether that was, you know, at the time it was, they lived in Chicago. For me, I was like, I'm picking up and going to a private Christian university in Arkansas that I've seen one time, and I did no other college visits. I applied to no other college. My family was so supportive. They were like, okay, if that's what you feel like you need to do.
That's cool.
And then for Disney, they were like, okay, we're here. We're behind you. And when I went to Disney again, they were like, okay, we're still here. And then even when like leaving like the job leaving the journalism job, like, I was really worried that there were so many points that I was making decisions that I was like, maybe this is my potential and maybe I'm not reaching it. I was like, if I step away, am I going to be disappointing people? Am I going to be disappointing my family and my mom? Like, my mom raised me into just the young woman that I am today. And I have so much to attribute to her for that. And I'm like, if I don't do this, am I letting people down? And so, and even like I think this is the most, like I thank my mom a lot, but I think this is the most I've ever thanked her over and over and over again. And even my dad over and over and over again for how much support they have shown me in like stepping away from, you know, they used to be able to say like, oh my gosh, my daughter was on TV and everything. I'm like, nope, now I do influencer marketing and I work with content creators and I'm behind the scenes and I'm like, maybe it's not as exciting. Like maybe it's not as proud. And my mom still is just so proud of me. And she's like, hey, I'm here, whatever you need. And so I've been blessed to have the opportunities that I have because of the family that I have had behind me, pushing me to be the best version that I can. And because of God, these doors would not have been opened without him. So that's all them. It's not me. I'm just a culmination of the people and power around me.
What does your relationship with God look like today?
Good. I never like to say that I'm content because I feel like if I'm content, then I have room to grow. And so it's very fruitful, and I see it very evidently in the community that I have around me. My big thing right now, going into this year, is like my village. Like I want God to pour into me, so I can pour into my village, whether that's my friends, whether that's my community. I was like, but I want to be able to pour into my friends so that they can pour into other people. And I'm like, it's a chain. Like, okay, God, pour into me, give me the energy, and then I'll pour into the people that are close to me, and that they can go out, and we can just keep going. And it's been so empowering. Like it has been, I have watched him work like crazy this year in ways that, again, like I wasn't prepared to be where I am. I've watched so many of my friends and so many just people around me going through these significant life changes. And I looked to where I was like last year, and I was like, I could have never been there for you in the way that I can be now. Like I will drop everything and I will go. And now and that's what I'm able to do now. And it was something that like very intentional going into this year. And then I was even talking to somebody running. Maybe I'm just on a runner's high in life, but like that has helped me exponentially draw me closer, like in my relationship with God, because it talks in scripture about, you know, running the race set before you. And, you know, you hear it and you grow up with it. And I'm like, right, no, I get it because it's a race and we're running. I get it. There's an end goal. There's a finish line. But you don't get it until like you understand what it means to like train for a run and train for a race. And I'm like the race that I like PR'd and I got like 39 minutes, which is still really slow for a 5K, but like I did it and I was proud and I called my mom and I was so excited. That was the first race that I had like continued like running and training beforehand. And I was eating healthier and I was drinking more water and I had like done all of the stretches and everything that I needed to do going into it. And I was running that race and I was like, I actually feel really good. And then I was like, oh my gosh. And I started like realizing, and I say I, but it was like God kind of just being like, hey, ding, ding, flashing lights. All of these people are running the same exact race. We all have the same finish line. We're all getting the same medal. It doesn't matter if you're at the end of the race or the beginning. But all of the people that are continuing to run, that are continuing to walk, we're all getting the same. We all have the same end goal. It's the same finish line. But how much more when we're using self-discipline or spiritual disciplines, does that help with the race and to help reach that end goal? And so like all of these things, like I never thought about until like I finally started running. And I love writing and I've been trying to get back into it this year. And so I literally mid-run wrote in my notes app so I wouldn't forget so I could write about it later. And I wrote, I know what it means. I know what it means to run the race. Like I was like, I get it. And so it's just, that's something that I've been thinking a lot about. I've been sitting a lot with.
Now you're over here running, talking, and typing at the same time.
All at the same time. All at the same time. I don't know if I was talking though. I was typing though, typing and running. But yeah, no, it's been good. And I think that right now a lot of my relationship with him is growing in my spiritual disciplines. Like I feel very close with God. I feel very close with just the relationship I've had with him growing up. But I really want to, like, I'm trying to read my Bible more. I've always been like, I love going to church. So that's like, I'm like, But I don't want to be a checklist. Like I want to be like, no, I want to read my Bible more. I want to be able to quote the scripture and have it memorized. And I want to be,
I downloaded the Bible app like a month and a half ago.
okay.
The Old Testament is wild.
I'll tell you this much. I love the Old Testament. Like I always say like I would love, or I love the, not even the idea, but the faith of those that lived in the Old Testament. Because you have everybody that lived in the New Testament was around the time that Jesus was around. So they got to walk with him. And everybody in the Old Testament was just in that waiting period. They're like, I've never seen him.
Yeah.
I just know about him. I just know that somebody's coming. Somebody's done these things for us. I know that God's real. And it is wild.
All those animals dying during the Noah's Ark.
Oh my gosh.
Like, why? Why do we gotta get? Why all those innocent animals have to die? And then there was a part at the beginning where they mentioned like, oh, this person's the son of this person and this person. It's like a whole chapter.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I skipped a little bit of that because I was like, I'm not gonna remember any of these names, like all of these names.
Right. Hey, it's okay. It's a heart thing.
You know?
It's a heart thing. If I have the day that I have that memorized, I don't know what's gonna happen. I have too much time on my plate.
And I had already read the Bible when I was 12, but I was kind of like, let me read it again as an adult, just so I can understand it differently. So right now I'm barely at Cain and Abel. Like I just finished that part. So I'm trying to read it as an adult, and I feel like on the app, I feel like I can read more for some reason. I don't know why. Instead of me pulling like one of my dusty Bibles,
Right.
from the. See,
I've tried to do the app. I have to pull out the dusty Bible. Thankfully, the dust is off the Bible now. I've opened it so much, but I think I get too distracted. But I do know a lot of people that do say it's easier.
It is. There was a time where I was just reading it and I was like, whoa, I didn't even know I read it that much, but it was just easy to just scroll, go to the next page.
Oh my goodness, no. I love it though. But the Old Testament is wild, and I don't think we talk about it enough. Like, Jonah swallowed by the big fish. He was in his belly for 3 days. If you think about it, everyone's like, oh, whatever. That was Jonah being swallowed by a big fish wasn't even just like a repercussions of his actions, but like he was trying to jump off a boat to run away from God in the middle of the storm. And then he got swallowed by a fish for 3 days, i.e. that was protecting him from the consequences of his actions of trying to run away and just having that moment to sit with God. You have Job, who, he literally loses everything. He loses his family, he loses his livestock. He gets to a point where he's like covered in like warts. Like it's so bad. And I was recently reading Job, and it goes on to say, and I even like highlighted it, but it was like he ripped off his clothes and fell to the ground in worship after it just had listed all of these things that he lost. Like it listed, he lost his family, and he fell to the ground in worship. And I was like, man, I don't know if there's ever been a point in my life, and I say that, and then I always think of something that happened. I think we've all had that point at one point where we're just humbled, and we're like, even if I have nothing, I'm still gonna fall. I so badly pray that I continue to have that faith. I pray that I continue to be humbled, because humility and submission, that is. God wants nothing more than for you to, hand your life over and just be like, hey, I got you. It's gonna get crazy, but it's worth it. And so, but I think I have like one of my Spotify playlists. It's like Old Testament faith, and it's just all of these different songs that I found. That's like all of these different people from the Old Testament. I'm like, oh, these are bangers. Okay.
In a more funny note on the Bible.
Yeah.
Like where in the Bible or like in what timeline were dinosaurs in?
Right.
Have you thought about that? I went through a whole rabbit hole the other day.
Do you think that? No. So here's the real question: do you think that they existed?
Yes.
Before the ark?
Yes,
I think they existed.
This is what I think actually happened.
Okay, hit me with it.
I think how like in Genesis they talk about how the first few days, like all the different things that happen within the first few days.
Yeah.
I don't think days were our days.
No.
I think days were years, maybe even generations.
Yeah.
And I think within those days, that's where dinosaurs were at.
Dinosaurs were somewhere.
Yeah, because they're not in the New Testament.
Yeah.
In the Old Testament, they're not mentioned.
No mention.
And they're not in the New Testament. So what? They came after Jesus? That doesn't make sense.
I'm not gonna lie. I think that's the first time I've ever heard that theory.
Well, I went through a rabbit hole, so I
like it.
I might have also hit ChatGPT, which I don't feel very proud of, but I needed to know.
ChatGPT is discipling out here.
I was like, where were the dinosaurs? But off that topic, I wanted to ask you about marketing. Why does that draw your attention? Specifically, right now, what you're doing, influencer marketing.
Yeah. So originally, when I got my degree in media production, and honestly, for me to graduate with a degree in media production, that was a whole rabbit hole of me not knowing what I wanted to do with that. But I was really good at communications, and that led me to do a lot of things to figure it out. But I really like the idea of working in marketing to help organizations and businesses and nonprofits and again, the community. That's always been my main goal. And so right now I work in influencer marketing, which isn't exactly the long-term goal, I would say, for me. Or if it is, it'll help support what I want to do. But influencer marketing, I really enjoy it. I have a large background in content creating. I'm currently growing a following on TikTok right now.
I see your TikToks.
I need to get back to posting. People keep following me, and I haven't posted in like 2 months. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to give the people what they want. I'm so sorry. But like, I have so much background in content creating. It is something that I really enjoy, and I like being able to highlight businesses, whether it's big and small, and just things that are happening in the community, as well as just like I said, businesses. But so I work in influencer marketing, and so I'm not the influencer, but I get to be more of that. Like, we work with clients, just big organizations like corporate businesses across the country, and we get the opportunity they come to us, and we come to them, and we're like, hey, you have this product. What if we got some content creators and influencers in on this? Mm-hmm. And like, they like put, like, you think like the ads that you see on TV, or not on TV, on like TikTok and Reels and stuff like that. And it's like paid partnership or stuff like that. It's a product. Usually there's like a middleman in between. And so we're that middleman. We're like client services. And so, so we, we get the brands okay. And then we're out there, excuse me.
You filming with your phone? Like, are you filming with
I'm not even filming anything. Okay. Yeah, we're going out and we're finding the content creators and influencers. Okay. And we're like, oh, you would do a really good job, or you've done a really good job or whatever with these sort of ads, or you have this experience, or you kind of match what the brand's looking for. And really, they're the content creators on that end. I do absolutely no content creating on my part for my job, which in turn allows me to, now that I'm finally settling into this job, I can go back to pursuing what I was doing, which I wanted to do content creating and social media managing on my own to highlight what's happening in the community. And so like being my own little Northwest Arkansas content creator in my own way, which has been a lot of fun when I was doing it. I've got more time now. I can get back to it. But yeah, I love influencer marketing. I like seeing that collaboration. I love creativity. And so, yeah, I'm excited for this job, for this opportunity. I just was told I have my first campaign that I get to be a part of, which is super exciting. And that's just means that I'm going to be the person following along, finding these content creators, everything, working with the creators, and just seeing it to its end goal. And after it goes live on social media and everything like that. But at the same time, now I finally get to be my own little influencer again and just drive all around Northwest Arkansas and be like, I'm trying this coffee today. I've got a long list right now. I've got like an Excel document of all the coffee shops and coffees recommended to me in Northwest Arkansas.
Have you went to the one next door?
I visited Cafe Conchisme last year for the Day Without Immigrants.
Okay.
I think you actually recommended me to talk to.
Maybe.
Yeah, to talk to her.
I am an influencer and everything. Just kidding. I'm not.
No, you are an influencer.
No, I got invited to two influencer events. Well, 3. Shout out my friend Lauren, who's constantly inviting me to stuff. And there was a good amount of influencers there. I felt like an outlier. I did not feel.
No,
I didn't feel like
you're an influencer.
I don't define myself as that. But I will say though, like if you influence people to do something, technically you're an influencer, right? It just has sometimes this rep where it's just kind of like you're disconnected.
Hear me out. It's like the Disney adult thing. Like, it's not inherently a bad thing. It's just, it has connotations with it. And so sometimes you're like, oh, I don't know if that's what I want to be, or if
I didn't
am.
appreciate though that specific invite to like this haunted house over there in where is it, Gentry? I think it was in Gentry. My friend Lauren hit me up to go before they open to go check it out and to like do a story or something for my social media, and it was a good time because I would have gone either way, and I was still gonna upload a story either way,
right?
Because that's like scary stuff's my shit, so like I was gonna go anyways, right? But I think it did make me feel a little cringe, but I knew that I actually enjoyed doing what I was doing there, and I was gonna post about it on my story anyway, so people can go check it out, and supporting a local business as well. So
what was the haunted house? No.
Yeah, so in Gentry, I think it's Gentry. Hopefully, I'm not getting the.
Is it the one that's like ran by the nonprofit?
No, I've been to that one too. That one was a little smaller, but I've been to that one too.
Okay.
No, this is like they actually built a haunted house.
Oh.
And there is a place in Gentry. I forgot the name of the store. I apologize, but the store has like 80s stuff. It has Harry Potter stuff.
I've never been to that store, but I know what you're talking about.
Pop something maybe, I forgot what it's called. But I had already been there before that day. I had gone there like twice, and the haunted house is connected kind of to it.
Okay.
So you can go check out the store and then go to the haunted house, and I think it's open during like Halloween season. So I don't think it's open right now, but definitely check it out. I enjoy it.
I haven't been. I have been to a few haunted houses, and they were all in one night. And it was at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights 2 years ago.
That's a flex.
And I bought these earplugs to like help stay desensitized because it is loud. And so one of my friends recommended it. And so I wore those the whole night to like help because it was a sensory overload.
Oh, is it? I really wanted to go to that one. I forgot if this was Disney or it might not even be. It might have been Universal Studios. The Weekend. Halloween Nights. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, that's Halloween Horror Nights at
Is it Disney?
It was at Universal.
Universal. Have you gone to that one?
So I didn't do the Weekend, but the Weekend usually has like a haunted house there, and I don't think I went to the Weekend's one. The one that I went. We went to so many.
It was about to start like the day after we were there, and we weren't gonna be in that area anymore. So I was bummed that I couldn't go.
No, I heard those ones are like even more scary, and I'm a scary berry. Like I'm a scaredy cat. I really don't like haunted houses, but I'm really trying to.
You're one of those people that like if you will almost have a panic attack if someone jumps at you kind of person.
I went to all the houses and I just held on to my friend Alex in front of me, and I was like, I'm just gonna follow you. Thankfully, they can't like touch you, and that was the one thing I was like, if somebody touches me, like I'm dropping, like I'm gonna go on the floor. I'm done. And so it was okay. Like I was like, I survived. And I want to do it again, but I'm like so skeptical of going to haunted house now. I'm like, I'm not. If I have to sign a waiver, I don't want to go.
You should go to that one, the one that's in Gentry.
Okay.
You're like, I don't want to go to haunted house. You should go to that one. Okay.
hey.
That's funny.
I do want to go to haunted houses. I like Halloween. It's my favorite season. I don't know. I really like being scared to a degree. The idea of being scared, I like. Then when or it's more like I don't like the idea of being scared, but once I'm in it, I'm like, okay, I do. This is fun. Like
I love haunted houses, but I also have a limit. Like I don't want to do the one where like, did you see that documentary about that haunted house in, I think it was Texas maybe, where like the guy was crazy, the one that owns it, and like you sign a waiver.
No.
And you sign a waiver. The waiver does come in.
You should not be signing a waiver.
If you go through it, you get money though. But most people don't go through it because you get. People can touch you. They can try to bury you alive. Like they won't bury you alive, right? But they act like they're gonna bury you alive. They can put you in coffins and stuff like that. And there's a bunch of chainsaw people there, you know?
No,
I hate when the chainsaw person comes down in a haunted house. Like that does give me sensory overload.
It's loud.
Yeah. And I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's just the chainsaw part. It's just like, why does there got to be a chainsaw at every
it doesn't
house?
have to be in real life. It doesn't have to be in front of me. Keep it on the TV.
So for the folks that are listening or watching, where can people find you on social media?
Yeah. So my Instagram is public. So it's Makyla O-Rodriguez. It's really just my handle. It's just my name. Do I need to spell it? You want me to spell it?
No, they'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out.
We'll put captions.
Okay.
And you have your journalist one that's gonna be. Is it gonna be like collecting dust or what's it gonna be doing?
I don't know. know. I've been thinking about it. I don't know if because I said, like, I'm doing a lot of stuff on TikTok right now. Or I'm going to get back into it. And so I've been trying to decide if I want to start translating that over to Instagram, because I do have like a large following on there. And I've been trying to decide if I want to use the journalism one and kind of like transition that over into more of this like lifestyle in Northwest Arkansas. Or I don't want it to collect dust. I want to do something.
Yeah, you should. And there's followers there.
Right. And so I'm like, but what it is, I don't fully know, because I think that to some degree, I would like to still be that informative part to the community. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to go about it going forward, because I don't want it to collect dust. And I like supporting my community in the way that I was. So just finding new ways to do that, I think that's what that account's going to transition over. And so that's the same exact thing, but it ends with TV.
Okie dokie. A question that we ask everyone that comes to the podcast: what do you do to take care of your mental health?
You would never guess, but I run. No.
What?
No, I actually, the two main things that I do, I'll say three, and I won't deep dive too deep, but I go to therapy. Even when I'm at my highs, I go to therapy. I think that I can't emphasize enough the importance of just going to talk to somebody unfiltered. Even if you're at your high, even if sometimes I go, like, if I'm doing really well, I will go once a month just to be like, hey, I know that I was freaking out last month, but look at all the things that I've done. And like, it's great because like I've had some like really crazy, life events happening. And my therapist looked at me and she was like, if this was you a year ago, I would have probably had advice to give you. But I think that you're at such a stable place compared to where you were a year ago, especially 2 years ago. I've seen her for 2 years now. And she's like, I think that you've got a good head on your shoulder, no matter what you choose, because I think that you're capable of making these decisions. Like that was so fruitful. That when I talk about like a boost to my mental health, that already felt like a boost to my mental health. So seeing a therapist, one, my faith is huge. When I'm far from God, I don't feel like I fully have all my stuff together. And even when I'm with him, I don't feel like all my stuff's together, but I feel like it's in somebody's hands that isn't mine. And then third, I write. Writing's been a big part of my life. When I was younger, I used to do spoken word competitions. I used to write music when I was younger. And then as I've gotten older, writing has just still been my medium, whether it's been just gathering my thoughts, or, I had this idea like, oh, I understand what running is, I'm going to write about it later. But just taking stock in what's happening in my brain and seeing it in front of me and seeing it come to fruition. Like, even if nobody ever reads the stuff, I don't know. There's something about it, though, that I'm reminded who I am at my core. I have grounded myself, and I've also taken time to, like I said, take stock, sort out. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? And then seeing it in front of me and reading through, I'll be like, oh, I wonder why I thought that. Or, oh, you know what? That makes sense. And that has been huge for my mental health. I think that writing has been the one thing that sometimes I don't know what I would be if I didn't have it, if I didn't have that part of me. I think that when I'm writing, I'm the most grounded version of myself that there is.
That makes sense. And I feel like this podcast is centered around like following your dreams. I feel like that's kind of like the ongoing theme in this conversation that we're having. Any advice that you give for people who might be, feeling a little scared to pursue their dreams, and they're hearing you right now talk about how you were able to take those leaps, go to Florida, come back here, now you're doing something that you want to do as well. Any advice that you give for those people?
Yeah. First, I'm going to say, yes, it's scary. I feel like we try to minimize how scary it is to take those leaps. And I think the first thing is acknowledging that it is scary. And scary doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. Also, if you're taking those leaps and you're waiting for the results, because I will say the hardest part about the leaps that I've taken is the waiting game, taking them, is waiting to see it come to fruition. I wanted to be in marketing 4 years ago. I'm finally getting it 4 years later. I never thought this day would come. But it's the liminal space that you're sitting in. It's, one door just got closed behind you. You're waiting for one door to open. Sit in it. It's okay to be uncomfortable chasing your dreams. It's not going to feel perfect all the way through. It's going to be messy and it's going to be uncomfortable. And that's where you're going to grow, because following your dreams, I know you always hear it, it's not the journey, it's the destination, but it is. It is the destination. It's about who you become as you're following your dreams, and your passions and your calling. And so sit in the growing pains. I promise you're going to get there, whether it's what you wanted or what you needed. You'll get there. It can be scary and it can be uncomfortable, and that's good.
Well, thank you for that advice for everybody that's listening. Makyla, thank you for spending the time with us.
Yeah.
We got to do this again. I'm glad you're not leaving, so I'm glad there's an opportunity for
Yes.
us to record again. So just appreciate you being here and who you are as an individual. And if you want someone to run with, hit up Makyla. She'll be going at a specific pace,
At a very slow one. So if you think you're slow, you're not slower than me. So send me your coffee recommendations.
There you go.
Just tell me all the coffee.
But for everybody listening, that was episode 336 of the District 3 podcast with Makyla, who joined us. Make sure you follow her on social media. Check her out on TikTok too. She's constantly posting. Maybe not in the last few days, but maybe she will start doing that in the next few days. So for everybody listening, thank you all. And for watching on the podcast, we'll catch you all next week. This is Irvin and Makyla signing off.